To take a step back and talk a little bit. So today this topic is going to focus primarily on cybersecurity. Probably one of the real hot topics today in technology. But I wanted to put a different spin on it today. What I wanted to primarily focus on was obviously what is the problem that we're all experiencing with cybersecurity? What is the risk to our business? But specifically, in typical Foresight fashion, what I wanted to focus on is how can you as an end user protect your business if you own Office 365? So if you own Office 365 today, this webinar will primarily focus on how you can improve the security on that specific platform to help secure your business against cybercrime. So Foresight's been around since 2000, so about 16 years now. We have 7 employees located in the Seattle area. The primary verticals are financial services, manufacturing, education, and a few government customers today. Foresight really has 4 primary pillars that we focus on when working with customers or prospective customers. And it's all around how can we help your business save money on IT. There's basically an industrial revolution that's going on today with technology, and it's called the cloud. And the way that Foresight looks at the cloud is that we think that a lot of businesses can trim costs with their overall IT spend, and that's one of our goals, is to look at where the cloud can help businesses save on their overall IT spend. The other pillar that we focus on is security, ensuring that your cloud services are secure for your business. And as we talk today, you'll see that there's so much to security. there's a lot for business owners to look at, different ways that they can secure their business, and I'll just focus on a few today, but that's why that's a major pillar for Foresight. Also, another pillar is improving employee productivity. How do we improve overall companies' productivity across their business, right? So whether that's marketing, sales, executives, somebody at a retail store, or bank retail, or bank tellers. But it's all about improving the productivity within your business. And the 4th pillar is Foresight believes that for us to really be able to deliver on those first 3 pillars, we believe that having deep expertise in a specific technology is the best way to do that. So Foresight has a mission to have deep and broad expertise in Microsoft Cloud services. So security, the primary topic today. So what is the threat? That'll be one of the questions we answer today. What is the threat? Does Office 365 have built-in security? That's a question I get a lot these days. And then obviously, what can I do to protect against cybercrime today? And once again, these few items that we talk about today will be in relationship to Office 365. But what is the threat? What security is already built into Office 365 today, and what action can I take today immediately to protect my business? So the problem. There's if you Google this, or you pick up a book or a magazine, you'll probably come up with 5, 10 different quotes or major themes around what is the problem today. But there's one that keeps jumping out at me, and that is that 95% of security breaches are basically human error. And what that means is that us as whether we're a worker or whether we're a mom or dad at home, right? I mean, there's hackers constantly trying to get access to our information, but they're relying on us to take some sort of action in that email or in that social media platform or whatever application. Maybe it's an iPhone application, but they're looking for the end user to take some sort of action. So 95% of the breaches today are really because of human error. How we actually we're taking action on some sort of content and causing that malware to encrypt data or send malicious emails to other colleagues asking for bank information, social security information, things like that. So it's a lot of cyber criminals today are relying on us as individuals to take some sort of action. But I wanted to give I wanted to talk a little bit about these attacks from the standpoint, does the industry see these attacks decreasing or increasing, right? So, I mean, we live in a world today that it seems to be all the buzz, but is this something that we're eventually going to get a handle on, or is this something that's going to continue to increase? And a lot of the information that is out there today is basically showing that these trends are only going to increase. These cyber crimes and the ease of these cyber crimes are only going to increase over time. And there's a couple of key reasons why it's increasing. One is criminals have realized this is a big market. More than 43% of the cyber attacks in 2016 were focused on small businesses. And those small businesses are, companies of 250 employees or less. What type of information are they trying to steal? They're trying to get money from our bank accounts via wire transfers. They're trying to get access to our customer personal data, right? So if we have any personal data on our customers, they're trying to get access to our systems to not only get our data, but to get our customers' information. File fake tax refunds. We actually just had a customer last week contact us, and this happened to them, where they had a cyber attack, and they actually had some fake tax refunds were filed against them. And so we've been on site with them since Friday, trying to help them get things cleaned up. And then intellectual property. If your business relies on specific intellectual property as a competitive advantage, cyber criminals are going after that. Another key factor to why these cyber crimes are going to increase is the technology is getting easier. So because the threshold to actually become a cyber criminal is becoming easier, there's just more abundant out there. They're going after targeting more businesses, and it's a lower threshold for them to even enter the market to be a criminal. In 2016, there were 430 million new types of malware that flooded the market. That was a 40% increase from 2015. And then lastly, the attacks are global, making it harder to defend. So we kind of know one of the key features or one of the key drivers of how malware is attacking our business. We realize that we have to be educated as consumers. We realize that the market for cyber criminals is going to increase. As much as we hate it, they're going to keep coming at us. Today's conversation is going to focus on Office 365. So one of the questions I want to answer for you guys is, hey, I know a lot of people on this call maybe have already invested in Office 365, and Microsoft told us that our data was secure. So what is this, what am I talking about today? Well, it's complicated, believe it or not. Microsoft is secure. Microsoft is probably one of the most, has some of the best security in the world, up there with Google and IBM and things like that. And what I want to show you here in the middle of this screen, this is an example of the different layers that Office 365 has in place. And so it's not a matter of, does Microsoft have security for you? So let's just go through just a couple. I don't want to beat this up too much, but if you look here in the black area where it says Office 365 built-in security, you can look at the pie there, 24-hour monitored physical hardware, isolated customer data, secure network encrypted data. So you kind of can go around this pie and see that, okay, the layers are there, and then you look at the blue pie and you say, okay, what customer controls are in place? Compliance, advanced encryption, antivirus, and so forth. You can look at the outer ring, Office 365 independent verification and compliance. So the way that I like to sum this up is it's not a matter of, does Office 365 have security? It does, and it's the best in the world. But in many cases, Microsoft relies on the customer to either enable or purchase these advanced capabilities. So some of these are purchased with the, $8 product SKU that you purchase. Some of them are included with the $20 purchase. And then they have these add-on security capabilities. And that's what I'm going to focus on and educate you guys today on, is that I don't want you to leave here thinking that Office 365 doesn't have the security. It does. But in many cases, you as the customer need to take action to enable these capabilities. So I was actually playing around and I thought I'd remove that, the Office 365 CrossFit for security. It's kind of me in the middle of trying to be creative, but I don't think I fleshed that out. But I think the key point to this slide was what can you do as a consumer today to make sure that your Office 365 platform is secure. And the first thing you can do is get educated. The second thing we'll talk about is protect against the employee error. So that's what we're going to focus on today in the last 15 minutes of this call, is what can you do to get educated and how can you protect against the employee error immediately. So the education piece. So the way that Vorsight looks at education is there's several tools and services out there that Vorsight has kind of pulled together to consolidate a view for our customers around education. And the way that we're looking at education, of course, is kind of at a technical aspect of it, but it is around security. And so Microsoft, like I said, through a set of tools that we're using, there's a way where we actually can score our customers' environments. And what that score means is two things. One is it's a score that says, what is my business, what level of security have I enabled in my Office 365 platform versus other businesses on the Office 365 tenant worldwide, right? So it kind of gives you some sort of measurement of company X has enabled these capabilities, company Y has enabled these, and here's kind of the average. So, it's just kind of a good thing to know. Once again, education-wise, where do you fit in that scale of being scored for security with your Office 365 platform? The second piece of it is, once you score this, can you identify what capabilities should you configure? So giving you a detailed list of, do you need to do all of these things right away? So in my use case here, I put your target score of 237. And underneath there, you'll see it says, there's 15 actions that you can take in your business. So your original score was 37. The target score that we're going to have for your business is 237. And the way to get from 37 to 237 is we need to take 15 security actions in your Office 365 platform. So that's what this slide is talking about, educating you through information. Okay, so diving into what some of those actions might be, I just listed, kind of the top 3 that come up a lot. I didn't really get into the granularity of all 15. I think you guys will get an idea of what I'm trying to say here. But that's what this slide is really saying, to get to those 237, we're going to come back to our customers and say, here's the 15 actions, and we're going to list them out like this. And then we're going to prioritize with our customers to determine which ones do you want to enable, which ones have low impact to your business, which ones might have higher impact to your business and need a little more thorough action. But nonetheless, it's going to give us the data. The second one, employee error. How are you going to protect against that? So there's some quotes here that I think will look familiar to everybody, right? And so we've maybe all have seen similar emails where it's, no, you didn't win that brand new car. And clicking that link is not going to help you win that car, right? And no one's going to transfer $5 million into your account if you click that link, right? And Wells Fargo doesn't often send emails asking for our social security numbers, right? So let's make sure we don't do that. But nonetheless, these quotes actually get certain people, employees, to either click or download a specific document, right? And so how can you protect your business from that type of email getting through and that action being taken? Well, so one of the capabilities is around Microsoft's rights management protection. And we're not going to talk about it from a technology standpoint. We're going to talk about, what does it do for your business? So what this capability can do is it allows you, if you look here in the middle here where it says, on this email, it says personal, public, internal, confidential, or secret. If you were sending this type of email where you have pricing information or an estimate is attached, or maybe and that estimate actually has personal data about a customer or credit card information. Well, what you can do is you have two ways you can protect this data from an employee making a mistake. You either, one, can have these options at the top of the email and allow them to select that this is confidential, cannot be forwarded outside of your business, cannot, even in some cases, can't be forwarded to certain departments within your business. The other capability you can do is you can detect these types of emails and you can automatically apply these same type of capabilities, these same types of protection, ensuring that that information is either secure or encrypted. So two options. You either can take action yourself as an individual, or you can automate this for your business. And so that's one way of protecting against maybe an employee possibly making a mistake with the data. So here's an example of you get that email with a bad URL in it, and you are being prompted to add your social security information. So how do you protect against these bad links? Once again, this capability is not enabled in all of Office 365, and in some cases isn't even available to certain customers, right? It would be an add-on in some cases. But what this does, and I don't really like this screenshot, but the purpose of this, so let me know if you have any questions. The purpose of this screenshot is really just to show you that there is technology that's part of the Office 365 platform that will scan each individual URL that comes attached in an email. And if Microsoft detects that it's malicious, it will actually stop the end user. So if they accidentally click it, they would actually receive a message like this. Either one, hey, this link is being scanned, hold on, we want to ensure that it's not malicious. Or two, and I don't have that screenshot here, it would actually say, wait a minute, this is a malicious email. We're not going to allow you to continue clicking through. And that can be configured, depending on how your business is, and do you want to stop people from clicking, or do you just want to notify them and then let them continue on? But this is exactly what it would look like if you had this enabled, and it helps you protect against that possible mistake that an employee might be able to make if you were to receive. And matter of fact, each one of us probably receive 2 or 3 of these a day. That's the reality. Any questions on malicious URLs or any of the other topics at this point? Okay.
Aaron, this is Britt.
Okay.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So this is already in Office 365. I don't need to do any, you talked about add-on things. Are these already in there?
Yeah, perfect.
Not an add-on?
Yeah, perfect. It's kind of confusing. So no, it is an add-on. So what I want to distinguish, a lot of the questions I get these days is, why doesn't Microsoft have this security in Office 365 already? And so as a platform, it's available to you. But in many cases, you have to buy an extra add-on from Microsoft to get that protection. So this one is not standard unless you have Office 365 E5. And most customers don't have that. So unless you have E5, you don't have this capability, most likely. But I would have to, for me to go through and answer that for everyone on this call, I would have to have that conversation with them. But in most cases, you don't have this capability. Is that as clear as mud?
So to get it, we would just search for, how would we get it then, and what is the cost?
Perfect. And so maybe I'll answer that at the end because it does involve.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, at the very end, I'll tie that together, how you get it and what's the cost and my recommended approach.
Okay.
We'll get there at the end. Okay, so The second scenario, so we've talked about the bad URL. The second scenario is, well, what about the attachment, right? Which it looks like, maybe it's a birthday list. It's an email that came from, your spouse, and it says, hey, click on our daughter's birthday list. And believe it or not, the hackers are that creative these days, right? And then as soon as you click on that attachment, what it does is it kicks off a virus that goes throughout your entire corporate network. And next thing you know, it's infecting not just your computer, but it's infected 100 computers in your company, right? Because you click that link. So to prevent that, similar technology is available to you where the email is being every attachment that comes to you. This does slow your business down a little bit, but I think it's worth the 1 or 2 minutes. But what it does is it scans every attachment that comes into your business, and then it still loads the email. So you still can read the email. But what it shows is, if you look at my screen here, it just says, this scan is in progress here. And so it shows that an attachment has been sent to you. It's being scanned. And as soon as it's been cleared to be non-malicious, it will then show up. And so I'll show you what it looks like when it does show up. And this sometimes, it doesn't delay the email. Once again, I want to make sure I get that point across. It's not going to delay the entire email. All of the email, the body of the email is going to come through. The only thing it's going to delay is the delivery of that attachment. And so that's what the delay would look like. And then this is really just, this should have been a PDF document. I think that has something to do with my PC, but this is a screen of, after about a minute or two, this PDF actually showed up. But once again, the email showed up, the attachment was delayed a little bit. But what it did is it went out, it did a scan, ensured that that attachment is safe, and it then delivered it. Any questions on that? Okay. So summarizing our cybersecurity webinar here, what did we talk about? So cyber attacks are on the rise. There's no signs of this really slowing down. Office 365 has world-class security, but requires some action from us as the business owners. We have to decide what security do we want to enable, or what additional capabilities do we want to include. So it's going to require action from us. Where should you start? You should start with learning what security features are available but not configured for you, and then you should try to implement some of the basic security capabilities. So back to Britt's question, what's the cost for this? Where can you start? So I should have listed a second path here, but there's essentially 2 paths that you have as a company. One is to go out there and research this and implement it yourself, because each one of these capabilities, it's not going to be just a check mark, right? So obviously I'm presenting it like it's you just flip a switch here, but you do have to think through how this is going to be implemented. So you want to look at what your security score is, what capabilities can you take for your business. So maybe there's 15 actions that you need, and then the basics, the email URL protection and the attachment protection. So what Foresight has done is we've rolled this into a very straightforward package for our customers. And so we sell this for $8 per user per month. And that includes all the setup, all the support, all the consultation. And then we do quarterly briefings to do security assessments and determine what other action we may want to take in regards to improving your security. But as far as the email protection and the attachments and the security assessments, all of that is included for just $8 a user. It includes all licensing cost. Everything's included. So that's one option you have for getting started. Britt or anybody have any questions?
So yes, this is Britt again. Hi.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You, in the description of the program, it says, find out more about the rising threat to small and mid-sized businesses and the 5 ways you can protect yourself. So I was looking for the 5 things. I've got email protection, protect against bad URLs, protect against bad attachments, multi-factor authentication, and set shared links to expire. Are those the 5?
Okay, so which one? I'm sorry, what slide are you on, Britt?
It was in the program description. We just had like 2 or 3 sentence description, and it said, find out about the 5 ways you can protect yourself. So
yeah. Okay.
And so I think I've captured all 5, but it just was, I was kind of looking for that one slide where it had, these are the 5 ways.
Yeah. Let me. I think I might have that, and I think you're correct. I want to confirm here. Let me just read this and make sure. Yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah. So the 5 ways would be. Let's go back. Let me go to this slide.
So I've got email protection, like the sensitivity.
Yeah. If you wanted to break this into 5, I think, and a lot. I would say this morphed. I think when I originally set this, I was thinking of going through, and you guys can see my slide, right? I was thinking of going through these 5 because.
Right.
So, but then advancements took place, right? And diving into multi-factor authentication. Let's just look at this. Diving into multi-factor authentication. I don't know. I'm really starting to. I used to think that was probably the number one step you would take, but I actually think that with the rise in the impact that my customers are seeing with email and just getting your email protected from malicious links or attachments, I'm starting to see as a much more important topic and capability that I think customers need to just find a way to get implemented. And so that's why I think I morphed this conversation a little bit more towards the email protection as opposed to going into the 5 capabilities. If that helps everybody. Yeah. But if I ask the question, it was multi-factor authentication, one of the topics people wanted to hear today. We can easily dive into that at a later date. Well, I haven't lost anybody. Everyone's quiet, but I haven't lost a whole lot of people. Yeah.
This is Britt again. So are these, well, you said that these were add-on services, and then you offered a package that would help us do this for an ongoing rate, but are any of these things something that I could do in my own office, or are there alternatives? You've offered one path, but I'm just curious.
So from what I have seen, Britt, I think there is an alternative. You're saying, is there a do-it-yourself option? And
right.
I thought about that when I was putting this presentation together. I think there is, but I've seen no easy way of doing it. Right? Like for example, the three times I've set it up for our business, and I've set it up for two customers. One customer, we're still rolling it out, and it's been 2 weeks, and the reason why is because we're making adjustments and configurations that work. One person wants it to work one way, and another person wants it to work a different way. So there's more planning and configuration that it's becoming more and more difficult to say, yeah, you can just do it yourself. So I would say yes, but I would say there's most definitely a technical aptitude that's required from what I'm seeing. And let's go back to if I was to do a deep tech dive into how to more, I would consider that more of like a training. Could do that, but as far as educational and informational, I think this is so like multi-factor authentication. Once again, easily, you can do it. technical aptitude is going to need to be required at some level. Self-service password reset, that would be one on here. I don't know, Britt. I don't know if there's an easy answer to that.
Well, I think this is an important topic because I was in a training recently that said, any of all the kinds of terrorism or natural acts of God or whatever, this cybersecurity is most likely to happen to your organization. So I think it's really important. Yeah.
It really is, and it's, I can't stress this slide enough, Britt. I can't stress the reality is that they're coming after us. We're sitting at our computers all day. I think I saw 2 emails just yesterday, and I was like, God, I think that's phishing, right? And so, I have that on my to-do list to call Microsoft to figure out how my security settings, let's go here. I essentially adopted this package that I'm rolling out to customers. So when we look at this service right here, this is essentially what Vorsight is using, and so that's where I say that I feel like the best way to protect the customers we're working with is to not just sell it as a piece of software from Vorsight's standpoint. Selling it as a piece of software might get you set up, but a month from now something's going to happen, and because of the emails like I got yesterday, there's a proactiveness that is needed and required in due diligence that I believe is the best way to protect this. And so I believe that rolling this into a single cost for our customers where they don't have to worry about setup, configuration, support, or, oh, this happened in an hour of consulting here and an hour consulting there, that we just include it all for them. So that's the approach I'm seeing. And it's because of the emails like I saw yesterday, where it's like, okay, I need to get in touch with Microsoft, find out what's going on with this, because it's just getting more and more sophisticated every day.
So this is Brett again. Is that pricing for any size organization?
Right now, I believe, I think I'm thinking of this around 100 users and below. At $8, I think there probably will, but right now most of the customers, or all the customers we're working with so far, are below 50 employees. So I'm open, since it's such a new service, I'm open to look at volume discounts.
Great. And others on the line? Are there others who have questions?
Well, if not, Britt, if they forward any emails to you or anything you want to forward over to me, let me know. I'll try to answer any questions I can for today. And then other than that, I look forward to our next event. I probably should have had a slide here promoting our next event that'll be coming up. Actually, let's take a second here. Let's look at our next event.
And participants in today's program will receive a survey, so they'll have the opportunity to provide feedback offline.
Perfect. And I think our next event is June 13th, Top 10 Apps in Office 365 App Store webinar. So that'll be fun, and we'll have all sorts of links to instantly try and get you guys going on some of those productivity applications. And I will just put this into the instant message window for everybody. Yeah. So, all right, if you don't have any more questions, look forward to seeing everybody on June 13th, and have a good day.